Should I say, this is Joe, aka Solar Joe? Because that's what you use in your YouTube videos,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And your Instagram account.
Exactly.
Solar Joe, and it's a good name because it's actually indicative of how you've been trying to promote the use of solar energy for households. How did it start? I mean, as a business for you?
I mean, PHILERGY started 6 years ago, as you mentioned. It started like many things, started with a big vision, with a lot of work and pioneers that came here for the first time, analyzed the potential of the country here, and found it very, of course, attractive, because it is attractive, and solar energy can help a lot. Yeah? And those pioneers, Danny, Mike, Stefan, yeah, they really digged into the business here. And then from there we started developing it, and now we're here.
Now, a lot of people would have this idea that to be able to afford a solar energy installation for your household, that you'd have to be above a middle class income family. So it's not affordable. That's the idea that most Filipinos have.
I hear that a lot.
But how would you actually disabuse people of that idea?
I mean, it always depends on how you look at it. It's no doubt, it's an investment case. But I always compare it with cars here. The streets are full of cars, and cars are made very accessible here in the Philippines by banks, for example. Yeah,
financing.
Financing. You can lease out a car without nearly no down payment. Yeah? So a solar system costs nearly as much as you pay your utility in 5 years. It's an investment case. But I think, for example, if the banks transfer that model for cars to solar systems, they are very accessible. And then it's made accessible for everyone, and everyone can afford it.
Now, I think there's a program of one of our government agencies, Pag-ibig. I think they're also willing to provide loans for household owners who want to install solar energy systems. Is that something that your company is also sort of coordinating with?
Yeah, we are in talks with banks. We are also having a program already. So we try to make it accessible. High quality technology, accessible for every Filipino.
And made in Germany.
Made in Germany, exactly. That's what we try to do.
All right. Now, people are wondering how they get started installing a solar energy installation in their homes. There are several components. Run through them very quickly. What do you need to put in your house to get solar energy up and running?
That's a very good question, because I'm asked very often, magkano isang panel?
Magkano ang isang there you go, tinagalog na tayo ni Joe. Okay.
Yeah, it's not just the panel. Yeah, a solar system consists basically out of 4 components.
Okay.
It's the solar panel, of course.
Right.
It's
you
the
have
roof.
one here.
Yeah,
this is not a typical solar panel.
That's a show panel. Yeah.
It's a show panel.
But it works. Yeah, it has connectors. So the solar panel, the roof mounting system, how you mount it on the roof.
brackets.
Yeah. Then the cables and the connectors that connect the solar panels to the inverter, and that's the fourth tool, the fourth device.
Yeah.
It's the inverter. Exactly.
So the inverter functions as, how do you say it? How it transforms the electricity from the solar panel to electricity that can run your appliances.
Exactly.
So, if I'm not mistaken, direct current from the solar panel to alternating current when it passes through the inverter.
Expert
That's right?
already.
All right. Now, the inverters, I guess, have different capacities. I mean, how do you rate the capacities? Are they rated in kilowatt hours?
In kilowatt peak.
Kilowatt peak.
Exactly.
KWP.
Yes.
Okay, so in kilowatt peak, how do you scale kilowatt peak to say how many appliances you have? How should you measure how much kilowatt peak you have vis-a-vis like a household running air conditioners, refrigerators, and that stuff?
That's very technical if I explain it like this. What it's easier is I ask you how much is your monthly electric bill.
Okay.
So you say 5,000 pesos.
5,000, yeah.
So I can convert that down, because the average kilowatt hour rate in the Philippines is around like 10 pesos, a bit more.
Yes.
It's in some areas different.
Right.
So I know your kilowatt hours consumption. Yeah. So then I can size a solar system for you, and the inverter gets sized accordingly to the strength, the kilowatt peak of the solar system. Yeah?
Okay.
So that's how it works.
So the rated output of a typical photovoltaic or solar panel, how much is it?
It depends.
It
They
depends.
are like a car. Very different models. Yeah. So this one, for example, has 200 watts now.
This
They are
small
for
thing has 200 watts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 300 watt
So
peak
if it were
panels,
as big as,
250.
say, the TV right here, the solar panel, you have solar panels this big, I suppose.
No, it's 160 times 1 meter. That's the standard size.
Okay, so smaller than this.
Smaller than this,
Smaller than
yeah.
that.
Maybe a bit bigger than this, yeah.
So, say for a household with 5,000 pesos monthly electric bill, how many solar panels would it take to actually bring that down considerably? maybe
So-
do I have?
I would say something around 8 to 10 solar panels.
8 to 10
That's
solar
equal
panels.
to 2.5 kilowatt peak. That saves you around, let's say, 3,500 pesos. That's a very nice saving amount. And yeah, this is what I would recommend.
Yeah. Now, I've been trying to read about the processes with which you can get a solar power installation in your house, and obviously you still have to go through Meralco to get it certified as safe, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, of course, you have to register it. In the Philippines, if you have grid available, we call that net metering.
Okay.
So we work with Meralco or any other utility.
Yeah.
And when you have a solar system, there is a mechanism called net metering. That
Okay.
means whenever there's more solar energy than what you can use in your house, it gets automatically sold. So you earn from that.
Okay.
And this is what we basically register with Meralco
Okay.
for the client, with the client together.
To register for the net metering program
Exactly.
of Meralco. Is there any additional component aside from the four that you mentioned that would actually allow you to do net metering with your solar energy installation?
That's it.
That's it?
basically
All
it.
those
Exactly.
four? And
the meter,
and the
your
meter?
meter gets changed. So
So your meter is specifically for net metering.
exactly, it gets changed. Very easily explained. It turns into one direction now. That means it counts what you consume.
Okay.
But the net meter can turn into the other direction, so it also counts what you give back to the grid. So that's very easy.
So it's like Mercury retrograde.
Exactly.
Moving backward. So I heard, I actually read in one literature that if you are not careful with how you install your solar energy system and not have that net metering thing, that Meralco might actually bill you for your excess solar energy. Is that something that people have to be aware of?
That may happen, yeah.
Yeah.
That may happen. If the meter is not changed and your meter doesn't know what's going on when there's excess solar energy sold,
It might make it move
it
faster.
might make you pay for it. But
Yeah.
that's why it has to be changed. That
Right.
should be done all the time. No one should not have this.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, in the 6 years that PHILERGY has been here in the Philippines, aside from learning Tagalog,
Konti Tagalog.
konting Tagalog, how many residential areas have you actually been able to service?
We have approximately around 170 residential houses,
Yeah.
and the rest is businesses.
And their feedback to you after using your systems?
It's a product that makes happy. Everyone is happy because you save money, your wallet gets bigger, and you benefit the environment. And you save a lot of carbon dioxide emissions. I can give you an example if you want. Just 1 square meter in the Philippines can harvest 5 kilowatt hours a day. Transferred to money, that's 50 pesos. That's not too much, but it neutralizes 5 cars that drive 5 kilometers each in the Philippines. Yeah? So that if you convert it now to your studio, 1,000 square meters,
Yeah.
save you 50,000 pesos, and neutralize 25,000 cars here that drive 5 kilometers a day. That's amazing. And this is what the people have to learn and have to understand, because there's a huge potential here.
Now I have to ask before we close this interview, Joe. Of course, you're saying that all of your components are German-made. Everybody has a high regard for German engineering, but there are also Filipino companies that are now producing their own photovoltaic cells and are also involved in installing solar energy systems for homes. And somehow they come out a little bit cheaper, of course, because they're locally made. So how can they be competitive, even if you say, right, this is German technology vis-a-vis Filipino-made or even Chinese-made technology?
It's actually not more expensive at all. We are absolutely in the market price. Why? Because what we do here is based on our German companies. We have huge volumes there, more than 3,000 solar installations. So we get good prices. We ship it here to our warehouse, yeah? And we can really spread it into the country for very affordable prices. Even though we have German engineers with very a lot of experience, with 15 years of experience, they've seen everything. Yeah.
All right.
So this is in the end what is fun for us, because we can really offer something that is absolutely in the market.
Okay. And where is PHILERGY based in?
We have an office. Our main office is in along Libis,
Okay.
next outside to Eastwood.
Right.